Hello, it's me, Jay, your DM. I use he, him.
I'm Jerika. I use she, her.
I'm Mel Ninja Cupcake. She, her.
And this is Insight Check, where we delve into the dungeon of your bad decisions and retrieve the treasure of wisdom. That pause gets longer and longer every episode. I just really like to milk that dramatic effect.
I mean, you can fix anything in post.
It's true.
So you're just pausing for the cast. Is this like your own Rocky Horror recreation?
Yeah.
Anticipation, anyway.
Speaking
of anticipation, questions later. Anyway, let's dungeon crawl now.
Right. Dungeon crawl.
Good, yes.
That's
Not as good as the D&D Beyond theme song, but getting there.
Yeah.
Close.
I've gotten spoiled. The last 2 episodes I've done were with Embers, and he like serenaded us, so...
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's a standard that we could not possibly sustain.
No, what can he not do?
I will
Always
be
quit
with you.
Oh no. Oh no.
Good.
We've gotten off the rails.
All right, so my dungeon crawl is the Ravnica Guild segments that D&D Beyond are releasing. They are explaining, with the help of Ari Levitch, the guilds you find in Ravnica. These videos are very helpful. They break it down. And I have to say, I think Simic is actually the guild for me. So blue-green forever.
Simic, which one is that?
Simic is the biomancers. They do genetic engineering, and they combine themselves with parts of animals, especially lizards and stuff.
Oh,
interesting.
Yeah. And they live under the city.
That's funny because that's druidy, but that's also something that druids would hate, right? Yeah, that's something that
and,
druids would
I have a lot of self-loathing, so it's perfect.
No, it's not.
What were some of the other ones? Do you remember?
There were some really sexy ones, Cupcake. Let me tell you.
Oh my god.
One that I found very sexy.
Oh boy.
Was the Orzhov Syndicate. They established a system of debt, and the more you owe someone, the higher ranked they are.
Oh boy, there's nothing more sexy than thinking about my crippling debt.
You know why I thought it was sexy? Because there's a sexy-ass, powerful lady as the card for the video.
That's fantastic.
There's a guy
artwork.
that's bowing to her. Anyway.
Student loans.
Rakdos is pretty sexy. You can't argue that. They're crazy hedonistic circus people who want to put on a great performance.
I guess.
Gruel?
That doesn't sound sexy.
No, that sounds very.
They just want to take the city over.
So it's just their whole deal is just chaos.
Yeah, pretty much. They are anti-establishment. Those are all the ones I feel like talking about right now. So there you
Those
go.
are the sexiest
That's
ones.
interesting.
There you go. So if you wanted to know a little bit about Jerika's tastes, crippling debt,
Simics. No, I'm just
Crippling debts, and
crippling
chaos.
debt, chaos, and then circus
crazy
people.
circus people.
Yeah.
Yay.
So there you go.
I hear
We've had a
long
very-
walks on the beach. If you want to get a hold of Jerika, you can catch her on the Inside Pod.
Do you like pina coladas?
A deeply insightful segment. Cupcake, do you have a dungeon crawl?
I do. So I am possibly looking at starting another D&D game.
Ooh.
And I wanted to maybe prepare myself a little bit more, and was looking at videos for this class that I feel very unprepared to play. So I looked up and started watching crap guides to D&D on YouTube. And if you have not seen these, they're short videos. I think the one I watched was less than 5 minutes long, and they're kind of animated, and they've got splash art, and he talks all run in together, no punctuation, but it's very to the point, gets his message across, and you actually learn some things. So if you want to giggle and want to actually learn, or just need something to put in the background, it's a great channel to pull up on YouTube.
Was there something that made you giggle especially hard?
So it was for clerics, and I was looking at the cleric one, and they were like, if you want to be this, you can basically be a human forge and walk around and beat people with your body. Mm-hmm. Or if you want to play this, no one in your party is ever going to die, and the DM's going to have to throw a bunch of black dragons at you. And by the way, everybody's going to hate you. And I just like little like that type of humor just gets me every time.
Yeah, sounds kind of similar to the show from Geek and Sundry about Dungeons and Dragons basics. What is it called? Handbooker Helper. That's it.
Yeah, that's crit roll though.
Yeah, that's crit roll. So sort of like Handbooker Helper, but maybe more of a like funny, farcical take on it, as opposed to the Handbooker Helper, which is a little more dry and just informational. Just Handbooker Helper is designed for people who have literally never touched a tabletop RPG before, whereas this sounds more like something for people who have some interest in the hobby but kind of just want to learn stuff really quick.
Yeah, I mean, it goes through like at these levels, you get these spells, and this is what's imperative to these classes. Mm-hmm. And then that way you've got a little bit of information to get in and do more research.
Absolutely. That sounds really cool. And I like that sense of humor of the zero punctuation. And I like the sense of pace, too. I don't want to sit there and watch a 15-minute video breaking down the mechanics of a fighter. But a quick informational video might help me get up to date on a class that I don't necessarily play as much, like sorcerers, who I always forget what they can do.
Yeah, I guess there's like, I didn't even think about it when I was looking through different cleric classes, and he pointed it out that there are there's 15 of them. He doesn't get into all of them, but there's like hybrid clerics. Like there's a rogue hybrid and a sorcerer wizard hybrid and like almost like a bard hybrid. And I didn't even...
These multi-classes?
No, it's actually like the trickster cleric is almost kind of like the way it plays is kind of rogue cleric-ish. And I didn't even realize that when I was reading through all of the cleric stuff. And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess you could absolutely play that way.
For my dungeon crawl today, I wanted to talk about a person going by the username of Watts6831. They do fully detailed meals from a fantasy setting. They do them customized per race, and they go through and make these meals as like a ration platter or a holiday meal or like a special occasion meal. Kind of give you ideas for what you might be eating in a fantasy setting for various different races. The different kind of specialty dishes that you might find in, say, a dwarven trail ration or an orc trail ration or a human trail ration. Like what these different races might prioritize as far as food goes.
That's really
makes me so hungry.
It really helps with that immersive storytelling when you're able to give specific details about what they might be focusing on. The kind of foods. It really brings you into a sense of place when you can say, oh, in the lizard folk swamp, you're eating crawdads and you're having these fried frog legs and crickets on a stick, these kind of things. Those make sense for what lizard folk might eat, but at the same time, just having that little detail is immersive, and it's beautiful, well-prepared food, so of course it's just nice to look at it in an Instagram-y kind of way where it's like, oh, wow, quality food displayed in a very fine way.
They have a Mind Flayer Thanksgiving that you should all go look at right now. Oh my goodness.
But yeah, we'll definitely post this up. And all of these come with a caption explaining what's on the plate. A lot of times they display one thing, but it's actually another thing made to look like that thing because they can't sell you fingers, or they can't serve you fingers, but they can certainly serve you sandwiches that look like severed fingers. Or, they can serve you cookies that look like severed ears.
I love how there's money in most of these pictures. Mm-hmm. Like, that's your actual food.
The money, too, it's each customized based on the race. So they've got different currencies for the different areas that you're in. It's pretty darn cool. I have to say that this person did an amazing job, and I just wanted to share it because I found it this week, and it's kind of an old post, but it's really interesting, and I'm certainly going to use it when I'm telling what the players are eating in the future.
It's very good.
It's so cool.
Have we got all the business out of the way? Can we turn the lights down, get a little romantic? Here in this podcast, we are going to be discussing questions related to the heart. Getting right to the heart of matters. We got to answer the big questions about love and life and just getting through the day in your D&D or tabletop RPG session. I think we should do the DM one first. I think it's very funny.
Well, the DM always has to come first. Without the DM, we are nothing.
I don't know about that.
I mean, only if the DM wants to come first. It's a consent.
Oh, God.
It's a consent conversation you should have.
All right. Well,
Sometimes it's an unspoken thing.
all right, so here we go. First question from Ooze the Muse. A very important question that I think really needs to be considered here. How do you break up with your DM? Asking for a friend. Well, Ooze, this is a safe place. You don't have to cover yourself here. I do hope that you were aware that this would be read on a podcast. That potentially your DM. Well, no, never mind. There's no worry of that. So, how do you break up with your DM? Well, I'm a DM. So I guess I would say that if somebody was gonna, be like, it's not you, it's me. I would prefer it like straight on, like don't come at me sideways. Just give it to me. Give me the down and dirty.
So you like it straight on, down and dirty. Is that what you're saying?
I don't want you to beat around the bush.
Oh no! I have to say I've never had to break up with a DM. I had a group that I had to leave because of scheduling conflicts, and it was sad. But I was just like, I can't come on Thursdays anymore, everybody, because I have a podcast to do. No, I'm just kidding. Because I have a life. And it was sad, but
I mean, listen. How do you handle any breakup, right?
Don't text them.
message.
Cupcake solid.
The opposite advice.
It's you millennials. You believe we can just do
Truly
that.
is.
So do you think it should be in writing?
I think you need to compose a beautiful scroll.
Oh yeah,
Goodness.
that's it. You gotta make them break up with you.
Oh no.
you gotta just be the worst player they've ever had.
No.
You
Yeah,
gotta
I'm
show up to
sure
sessions
that
an hour
happened.
late and then leave an hour early. No, don't do that.
Yeah, something like state them your reason. Maybe it's even, it's not working out because of personality conflicts. But it would be something like, I'm just not having the kind of fun that I was expecting. And, if I'm feeling this way, you're probably feeling it. There might be some other people feeling it. So I'm just going to be the bigger person and leave. Bye.
Yeah. I've definitely had to deal with this before. I've had to kick people out, and I've been told that people are leaving. It happens. Sometimes your playstyle is not what they expected. Sometimes their playstyle is not what you expected.
Right.
It happens. Just be adults, communicate, be honest. Don't
Beat around the bush.
yeah, don't be wishy-washy. Just get it done and be
This
over.
is sometimes why it's better to have your one shot before you enter that committed relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely
Shoot your
agree.
one before you.
And make sure that you test the field and experience all these other players before you
They
get
call this
into that.
session 0.
Yes.
There's a lot of different play styles out there. And you got to find the one that's right for you. So you really got to test the waters.
And
really be
sometimes-
adventurous.
Yeah, sometimes your playstyle changes over time. You could encounter someone who helps immerse you into other ways.
Yeah. And that's okay. And if you find that your playstyle is wildly different from most people's, that's also fine. Sometimes there are people out there on the corners of the internet
Any
that
way
can
you
definitely
do it is a good way to do it, as long as everyone's having fun.
Yeah,
Yes.
you just go on R looking for group, and you make it very clear what you want in a partner, and then you just you find that.
Yep.
I think
That's how I date.
No, it's not dating. We're doing D&D. You somehow got confused.
we're Dungeons and Dating. It's a very
Listen,
different
finding a good
podcast.
DM is a lot like dating.
Finding D&D groups in general, but in general, maybe I'm a little bit old school, but I feel like if you are going to be playing any game at all, I don't care what it is, if you're going to be with other people, you need to be respectful and treat them like humans and be on the same page.
Yes, indeed.
Treat them as you'd like to be treated.
Yeah.
Don't be a dick.
Indeed.
All right. The next question that we had, in a similar vein, related, we had the question, when you romance a character, what type of alignment do you prefer? Now, this is a fascinating question, I must say. This is from Mickle Wayne, which is definitely the pronunciation of that name.
Michael Wayne.
Definitely Mickle Wayne. Anyway,
boy.
it's definitely Mickleback. All right, so
I think I've only been in this position once. And it is a position that I would like to revisit. But
Yeah.
alignment? Does alignment matter when you're romancing?
I mean, I think when it comes to romance, you need a new alignment chart that really gets to the heart of what you're looking for in a Dungeons and Dragons romance. So I think we start with vanilla and we go to kinky.
Those are
So
two very binary things, and there's no grayness.
Well,
in
listen,
there at all.
that's where neutral comes in. All right, you gotta.
So it's vanilla, neutral, kinky.
Yeah, it's vanilla, neutral,
I love
kinky.
that vanilla isn't neutral in that situation.
No, vanilla is one extreme and kinky is another, and then neutral represents a person who likes it a little kinky, but also very vanilla.
So we're talking like lawful good is, oh my god, I'm never touching it whatsoever.
So lawful kinky, for example, I think that's bondage. I mean, they have a lot of rules. It's very structured when it's done right? It's very structured. Everybody has an understanding of safety. That's lawful kinky. Chaotic kinky is like, I mean, I think it's like a wild sex party, I guess.
No rules, no
drunk.
hacks.
Yeah, no rules, just right. Lawful vanilla is like the very boring sex.
It's Sheldon and Amy.
Yeah.
It's missionary only.
Meanwhile, chaotic vanilla, they every so often they have a special night,
But they'll never tell each other when it's coming.
So true neutral, I posited this in the Discord when it was first posted. I posited that true neutral would be people who always do a vanilla, but they have the lights on, use fake names, and have agreed to never make eye contact.
Oh my gosh.
Which I think is true neutral.
I can't disagree with your perfect logic.
So yeah, I mean, I think, if we get to this alignment chart that I've created here,
Do you think true neutral is like sex for the sake of babies?
I mean, because it's the middle ground, I think that's like lawful, I think that's lawful vanilla, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
Sex with a mission is lawful vanilla.
Only to defeat Bahamut.
Oh gosh.
I feel like neutral is just sort of like, it's a little kinky, but it's kind of normal. Like, it's just like, you tell it to somebody and they're like, oh, that's weird, but it's kind of not.
Oh,
Give
that's
me
weird,
an
but
example, Jay.
Ooh.
It's like, oh, we always do it with handcuffs. It's like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean, fine, I guess. Like, you're still doing it the normal way, but it's like, there's handcuffs involved. All right, sure, fine.
I mean, I wouldn't mind like a chaotic kinky, but that's only in D&D.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
I feel like it's worth noting that you have three possibilities here. You have each character's alignment and the relationship itself.
oh,
Indeed.
that's fair. So, like, I feel like two lawful people could have a very chaotic relationship.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, like, even if you find that NPC with the perfect alignment, you've used Detect Alignment from 3rd edition. You convinced your DM to allow you to use that spell. You
Because
found
it's
the perfect...
getting very complicated because now we have different alignment systems cropping up.
So you've used, Detect Alignment. You found a spouse with the perfect alignment, and then the relationship falls into a totally different alignment. Now, what are you gonna do? I think the truth is that relationships are complicated.
You don't want them to end in chill touch.
No, you're right. Unless
Oh my
all
God.
parties consent.
Again, lawful kinky.
'Cause there's no recovering till next round.
We don't want to listen. I think we just can't endorse chaotic kinky in this Discord. It has to be lawful kinky. I think there has to
About
be
neutral kinky, though.
neutral kinky. What is neutral kinky?
Like, you don't care about anything but kink.
Like lawful kinky, I guess, is like following a lot of rules, and then chaotic kinky is just like no rules, just right. So then neutral kinky would just be like there are some rules, but sometimes we break them. It's like, oh no, that's dangerous. Actually, don't do that.
Would chaotic kinky be like the one night stands? Like,
yeah, the one night
crazy.
stand where they have a weird fetish they didn't warn you about ahead of time. That was
Exactly.
chaotic kinky.
Surprise!
Surprise! I really like your feet. Oh no. Oh boy. Here we go.
See, that's like neutral to me.
So well, they see. It's everybody's on a sliding scale here, you know.
They handcuff you, take pictures of your feet the whole time, and leave you there.
Well, no, see, that's actually a felony. That's just lawful evil. No, that's not even lawful evil. That's chaotic evil. We're back to the other alignment chart. Okay, I think we've given people a lot of fat to chew on with this one.
So now that we've explained it, Cupcake.
Oh god.
Oh boy.
What do you prefer in a partner? As
Oh,
far as
no.
alignment goes, in an NPC or
Answer this question if you feel comfortable.
I think it depends on what character I'm playing.
Oh,
Good
okay. So your
point.
character has preferences. I gotcha.
Well, no, because I'm very much like, okay, so with Loxley, if the person was alive the next morning,
Okay. So kind of a Black Widow thing going on.
possibly, because we know that she was all kinds of special. But I feel like the character that I'm getting ready to play is very, I hate to use Cthulhu as an example, but very like in that, oh, I don't even think about sex kind of mindset. So they would definitely have a very different preference than my little drow rogue would.
Yeah. So I think that Loxley would fall under like neutral or chaotic kinky.
Should probably be chaotic kinky. Maybe lawful
Yeah.
kinky if you're lucky.
If she really likes you.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
No, I hear what you're saying. Like, I don't think I would feel very comfortable, like, being in a romantic or sexual relationship with 20, which is my city druid, because she's not emotionally mature enough to handle it. Any sort of anything. Jerika wasn't educated enough. This is Jerika the druid. Banna failed a lot.
Yeah.
But she tried, and I think she, towards the end, she
Banna
was,
was
a little bit more
chaotic awkward.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We've
I
created a
like
third
that.
category.
Appealing in its own awkwardness.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think there's some characters that I would take there, and some that I don't think I would want to.
Yeah, I feel like Alex was like lawful kinky in the streets, but lawful awkward in the sheets.
Yeah.
Like if the situation ever presented itself, Alex wouldn't know what to do with it. It would just be like, okay, fantastic. I'm going to go wash.
Something. Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. The character determines your. So really, what we prefer doesn't matter. It's what our characters prefer because it's all about character-driven choices. Turn the question back on you.
Wah, 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 wah.
Also, we have a full alignment chart now with awkward in the middle. It scales
Is
well.
awkward neutral?
So I feel like awkward is neutral. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like awkward kinky, awkward lawful, or awkward vanilla. Oh my god.
Yeah, that actually tracks. Yes.
Sure.
Can we like actually make a page like out of the DMs guild for this?
Yeah, I'll do it. I'm committing. Let's take on our third question. Our third and most important question, perhaps. Playing with the spouse. Am I in trouble? Is this wise? Will anyone remember me? Submitted by Harold Large IV on the D&D Beyond, I guess Harold Large 4, on D&D Beyond forums. Well, I mean, we can go, there's obviously the big example, which is Matt Mercer and Mercer Ray, who play D&D together every week for 2 years and have been fine, or I guess 5 years now, God. And have been fine and enjoyed it and seem to be having a great time.
You think they've been fine because that's what they show you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, they recently got married, and
You think that's success, bah.
But I mean, so far so good on that front. Yeah, so obviously there's the public example that's very good. Mine didn't go so well. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing about introducing a relationship into a campaign. If you are confident in it, go ahead. If the relationship has perhaps displayed difficult attributes at some point, probably not good to tie to a social gathering that meets very regularly, because it might interrupt that social gathering at some point.
Why would you say that, Jay?
So I had a married couple in a campaign once, and in the midst of the campaign, there was some
Strife?
awkwardness. Yeah, some strife, and they separated in the midst of the campaign, and that campaign ended because I suddenly had about half my party gone as I had to eject certain players out of the group. And so, yeah, it was very, very uncomfortable and weird. That's just the way the relationships go sometimes. Not all relationships end well. So if you have, confidence, if your relationship is healthy, if you're having fun, it can be a great way to bond and spend time together. If you're, if it's a new relationship that you're just starting out, I might not tie those two things together because you never know how that'll go long term.
How long do you think one must wait before one introduces one's SO to D&D groups?
I don't think there's a set timer. I think it's just I think when you're in a relationship, you have a pretty good vibe on how healthy and stable it is. I think we've been doing really good for a while.
I know I've deluded myself several times. So sometimes you don't.
Maybe that's your barometer though. Would I invite them to my D&D game? Oh, yeah. Okay. Now I know we're really stable.
No. I mean, I can speak. I don't usually like to involve my personal life so blatantly out there when I'm doing gaming things, but I do have somebody in my life and we enjoy playing games together, but you have to kind of gauge where you are as a person and where the relationship is, and don't lose necessarily yourself. Don't lose your independence and things that you love, and that's fine. But it's also fine to spend your time together and build things and do things together that you enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to find that space. Yeah,
you want to make sure that you have room in your life for you time, for sure. That definitely makes sense.
Yeah. And also, I've played D&D once with my significant other, and the urge to kill him in the party was very real.
Yeah, I can see that. It's a great way to act out some of that, you didn't take out the trash tension.
I've heard that sometimes people will take liberties and make outrageous and perhaps obnoxious characters, and maybe some childishness comes out. So, as Jay says, I think it's all about being adults and approaching it with a healthy attitude.
Yeah. On Critical Role, they had spouses on the table, and then they had relationships in the game that were not aligned with the real people. Laura Bailey her character, Vex, was in a relationship with Talison's character, Percy. And, her husband was at the table, but her husband was playing a simpleton, idiot barbarian. So it would be very difficult to be romantically attracted to a person who is intellectually like a child, which is fine, and they were fine with it, and everybody was comfortable because they all had that comfort as a group of friends and, as adults, and confidence in their relationships. So this and that are separate things. But, we got to be sure before you start testing those waters how your spouse is going to react and how everybody's gonna feel. And like most things in life, it comes down to a open and continuous line of honest communication.
Very true.
And if you haven't done that, just stay away. Just stay away from
just
it.
don't test the waters.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Or just
don't
do
do
a
it.
one-shot.
Yeah, a one-shot. The one-shot's great because it's like a campaign you have an eject button on. Pull the lever and parachute out. Oh, the one-shot's over now. Bye. See ya.
Can you imagine? We've got cafes out here. I'm sure that you guys have them over on the East Coast as well, like gaming cafes. If they did a night where you could do like a D&D type one shot as a date to see whether or not you're compatible with people.
Oh yeah, like a Dungeons and Dragons group speed dating situation where you just like everybody's in like groups all around the room, and then like every so often you switch DMs.
Oh, that would be so fun just in general.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. Well, we've invented $1 million idea here, so if you want to make that happen, let us know.
TM insight check.
Yeah, exactly. You do owe us $5 if you use this idea.
Every time you think about it.
That's the law. We don't make the laws. We just make them up.
If you're interested in shooting us some other love and romance related questions, please do not hesitate. Either hit one of us up on Twitter. You can always @InsightCheckPod. We would love to get your romance and intimacy questions.
It's getting close to that time of year.
For sometime in February.
Or if you just want
sometime.
to send us boxes of chocolate, we're okay with that too.
We have not provided a P.O. box,
No,
so
we
it's going to
have
be
not.
very
123
challenging for you.
Internet Street.
Yeah.
This will probably come out late, but you are welcome to bring us boxes of chocolate at PAX South. Some
Yeah.
of us will be there. Please make sure that they are still sealed.
Hang on, actually, this will come out before PAX South, incredibly. Give us chocolate, punks.
Or come say hi too, because that would be awesome. There will be several of us roaming around, or if you'd like to even write down some cues.
Definitely drop us your romance cues. We are really interested in those. Look forward to that sometime in February. And as far as the rest goes, it's all the same as usual. Make sure that you follow us on Inside Check Pod for all the latest and greatest from us, and as well as we'll be posting up links to all the things that we discussed in this episode. And you can also drop us questions at Inside Check Pod. Please give us a follow on iTunes or on Podbean. Like and rate us, review us on both of those services, and retweet our episodes so we can grow, because we don't have any advertising. You're it. As well, we'd like to thank Amy T. Falcone for our beautiful faces, our chibi faces. Without you, we wouldn't have chibi faces. And we'd like to thank Vinswept for the song Never Stand Alone, because we really like it. It's super good. Man, that was the worst outro ever.
Nah. Answering your cues from our collective A's.
This
Was Insight.
Check. Check. The meekest check ever.
And I wouldn't say posit them into our A's, but you can hand them to us.
Oh boy, please stay away from my A's. My A's is my own place. I require consent.